Hello everyone, once again, welcome back to this beautiful video. And today we are going to explain Pakistan studies, and it belongs to grade 11 and 12 in Pakistan, right? It's a federal textbook board by National Book Foundation. So let's give it a try. Let's see what have they written in it. We have got around 10 chapters, and we're going to start the first, which is like genesis of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, how we got the origin of this country, and we're going to go deep into it. So let's start with it. What are we waiting for? The first topic that we're having is ideology. What is ideology? When you have got multiple ideas, not one, not two, like multiple of them, right? And when these ideas, they're like ideals, right? When these ideas are like, when they're like a perfect scenario for a community or for a state, for a nation, right? When you take multiple ideas and consider it as something really perfect on which all of you agree as a community, then it means that it's your ideology, right? And this is how the nation is created. They have something in common, and that is called the ideology, the set of ideas. Okay. So what about the Muslims, right? We have often talked about the Muslims, which is like a community all around the world. What's their ideology? Of course, they have got an ideology from their religion, and that is Islam, which means to submit to the one Allah the Almighty. So simply, the Muslims, they would love to spend their lives in accordance with the Islamic principles, Islamic Sunnah, Quran, and all of it, right? And it is all about peace. It is all about goodness. It is all about helping others. It is not something that is explained by the West in their books and in their media. Islamophobia, fear against Islam. What kind of fear? Islam is all about the peace, and this is what the community is living. The whole world is living on it. As a reference to Mehdi Hassan, his debate in the Oxford Union, I believe, and there he mentioned that if there is a small portion of people and they say we or represent, we are Muslims, right, or we are Christians, or we are anything else, in that case, if they are doing a great amount of wrong to the people, to the world, and they are taking just the name of Muslim, so does it mean you're going to use that name of Muslims to represent all or to represent the entire population? It doesn't make sense at a single point, right? So we have thrown it away with the reference to Mahdi Hassan. So this was the Islamic concept of nationhood, right? And because of their faith, because of their identity, because of all that they have got, they think that they have their own way of life, right? Now I'm going to connect it to the three-nation theory. It says that they have got their own way of life. They're going to spend the life in according with the Quran and Sunnah, and they're going to exercise their own democratic power, in which they'll be choosing the representative who is going to be of the same belief, that is called the Islam, right? That is called the ideology. All right, so we have taken Islam as an ideology, and because when you have your own representative, it gives you the freedom. That's talked been here in this book. When you have a freedom, you can exercise your collective and your individual livelihood in accordance with Islam. That is what is required. Okay, so the two-nation theory, it was a concept that started in the subcontinent. It's like related to Al-Birun, there was a person, I've just forgot his name. So like it's like really old, and he was like a tourist, a traveler. He came to this place and he discussed it there. Then with the passage of time, other people discussed it. Then Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Allama Iqbal, and finally we got a practical shape in the form of different countries in the subcontinent, for different leaders being represented, being as representatives of these countries. All right. So the two-nation theory. So it is pretty clear that Muslims, right, India, they have grown right into a sizable majority. It's not like the majority of the whole India, but if we see, according to many perspectives, such as the Qaeda, he said we are majority, like the Hindus who were like considered majority at that time. Like we are also we consider ourselves as majority rather than minority, so they should be treated as such, because majority isn't just something when you say that you have got more population than any other nation, you should also check out the population. Maybe if you're like 2 billion, it doesn't mean the one where 900 million people are living, they aren't majority. You cannot say that. So this is what was the definition being embarked at that time, right? So moving onward to the definition. So the thing is that they wanted to, with the two nation theory, it's defined here as that both of them were different, and with their difference, Muslims wanted to have their own state, and they wanted to move forward with it so that they would be able to establish their country, give it a physical shape, and that they will be able to exercise their lives as the free citizens according to their religion. All right. So now if we see Pakistan, which is considered till now, and its name in the constitution as is acceptable, is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. It's here we still have, like it said, like non-Muslim population minority. It's like 3 to 5%. And recently we have also got a major general in the special services of Pakistan, which is like a good sign, and a lot of pilots and CSS officers in our country, which means we are providing them the rights. That's a good sign. All right. So moving onward, so Hindus and Muslims, they should live their lives in according with their own religion. This is what this whole ideology or this whole talk is about. Now we will move forward to the components of Pakistan ideology. What are like some of the you can say components on which we describe our own ideology, right? Of this state, of this country that is called Pakistan. We have got Islam, right? Quaid-e-Azam it's been written there, like Quaid-e-Azam in 1948. He said several things and demanded Pakistan, showing his will that we really need our own state and that should be named as Pakistan. Now, what were his beliefs about the state? He said that everything, all the rights that's been provided to the state, each and everything authority, it should belong to Allah Almighty, which means that we will exercise our own lives in accordance or in according with respect to the Islamic principles. We will derive our rules from it, and of course that is going to be beneficial for the community. It is not something that you go on matching khilafat with something like really bad terrorism. Come on. Okay, so democracy. Democracy was the second component of Pakistani ideology, that they wanted to have their own representatives who should be Muslim, and of course they should go forward and represent the Muslim community. It is also mentioned in this book, where in the address of the Quaid-e-Azam in 1948, where he mentions that in 1948, of course, that Islam, which was applicable 1400 years ago, is as applicable as it was 1400 years ago. Why? Because it is something goodness, and goodness, it's always applicable, right? Now, we have discussed Islam, we have discussed democracy. Now, there are several other things that we will consider in our Islamic ideology that's also been talked about in this book. We've got a social justice, right? The society, they should be served with justice. There should be equality. No, you can say a free hand for the rich and just grab the poor and put them in the prison. No such case. And the sense of responsibility. Every person, he should be responsible for all the wrong that he do, right? And he should be accountable for it, right? And they should play their responsibilities, their active lives, their vivid, in shaping, in giving a vivid image to this country. So, oh my goodness. All right, we've got an electric breakdown. I think so. Anything that I plan ever in my life, it always goes some disaster, right? Oh, finally, we've got an electricity. Good, that's a good thing. We've got electricity. Oh my goodness. Let me just now put it back and let's move forward with the book. I'm not sure if anybody is going to watch this video, but I'm just taking a look of the book, what's been discussed here, and practicing for my own. So if you're here with me, somebody, of course you're going to enjoy it. All right, so moving forward with his statement, where he mentions that all these things that I've talked about should be served for every person, right? And he also moves forward with the thing that Muslims, they have their own traditions. Yeah, we do have. Some of them are, even though some of them are un-Islamic, but still we do have our own traditions. So we have our own responsibilities, we have our own, you can say, obligations, which we need to meet, like the things that we are really supposed to do without any no to it. That is like your obligation that we are definitely going to move forward with. And there was certain thing, of course, that is called the fundamental human rights, that is also sometimes related to the farewell address of Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him. And he further moves onward with some of the ideologies, and he says that at that time Congress, which was overpowered because of some of the Muslims also being involved in their party, and it was like representing the whole India at that time. So at that time, the Qaidi mentioned that it is like moving with its extremist, right, ideologies. That is not a good thing. They want us to give. They want the India to be given to them, right, and they should just move onward and leave it on the back, which is not a good sign, right? And it's like an extremist ideology. If you're thinking that you want to give, you want to take the whole country, and later on you can do whatever you want, you can violate the rights of Muslims, right? It's not a good thing. So moving onward, he also demanded some of the key rights for the Muslims, such as separate electorates. They should be given the opportunity so as to do the elections, so as to choose their representatives for their own. All right. So after the Pakistan, it got its constitution on 11th of August 1947. That was the point where the Quaid-e-Azam mentioned that everybody is free in this state, right? He mentioned in his address, if I repeat it, you're as free, you are free, right? You are free. You're free to go to your temples. You are free to worship in the state of Pakistan, in any other place of worship, right? And